What is going on, y'all? Welcome to Joel Friday TV. I'm Joel Friday. Few announcements before we get started. Hit that like button, smack it. Later, smack down the like, subscribe, and share button. Tell your peoples about the show so we get the subscribers up and a message out. Do it now. Help a brother out. As you guys know, we are live Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And at any point during the show, you can, guess what? Call in. 888-775-3773. 888-775-3773. There we go. Which one's better? And at any point during the show, give me a ring. We can get into some stuff. We can talk. We can argue, fellowship, whatever you want to do. I'm here for it. If for whatever reason you can't call in, but you still have a question or comment, or you just want to support the show, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV, or go directly to the YouTube live chat. Hit the super chat button there. Send your question or comments in. I'll read them live on air. Amazing stuff, right? Amazing stuff. Shout out all the chats across the board on all the platforms that we are on. JFTV is on. Shout out to the chats. Hop in the chat, send a little comment. You know what I mean? Amazing stuff. Shout out to the chats. Man, we got some stuff we're gonna get into today. I got a little story for you. And this is, listen, it's a little bit of a sad one, but I gotta present it because I've been thinking about it, and I want to talk about it. So there's this little sad little story, but it's worth bringing up and talking about. And then I'll get to your calls and super chats. Make sure you guys get in there now. So there's this newlywed couple, okay, that went through what seems to most as a nightmare, right? This is not what you expect after getting married. Right? This is like the big day, according to some people, right? According to most people, it's a big day. Emotions are on a high. You're feeling like you're on a cloud. You're walking on water. You're feeling good. Everything is just perfect, right? People plan years and years for this day, right? Their wedding day. Spend loads and loads and loads of money for this special day, right? People change the schedules. People come in from out of town. Flights are booked. Hotels are booked. Dinner reserved. Catering. It's all this is put in. A lot of work is put in order to make this special day happen, right? And could you only imagine it not going any kind of way, anything other than what you expect? Especially not like this. A drunk driver in South Carolina plows into a golf cart of a newlywed couple, killing the wife and injuring 3 others. What a mess. The collision occurred in the city of Folly Beach in April of 2023. Okay, so this happened last year, about a year and a half ago, as the newlyweds were being taken back to their accommodation just hours after their ceremony. So just hours after their ceremony. The couple is on a high, on their way back to wherever. They're maybe about to do their wedding night activity. And I'm talking about wedding night activity. You know what I'm saying? Wait, can I be making jokes in this type of story? They're about to get it going, right? On their way back, enjoying life. And out of nowhere, they're hit by a drunk driver, right? This is from WCNC, Charlotte. Here's footage from the last moments the newlyweds Eric Hutchinson and Samantha Miller shared together before the fatal accident. Mind you, this does not show the accident. This is just moments before the accident, so you don't have to brace yourselves or anything like that. All right? Here we go.
Sick, man. Yeah.
Where's the people behind us?
Sick, man.
See, they're just on the golf cart, enjoying their little time. And that's moments before. Moments before, they are just, I don't even know the word. But their life changes. Right? Crazy. Anything can happen at any point. You never know what's going to happen. And unfortunately, the man was a widow on his wedding day. That's crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. But let's move on. We got some interesting stuff because what I really want to get into is like the aftermath, right? Because there's a trial that's going on for the drunk driver by the name of Jamie Lee Komorowski. She's being charged right now. She actually was convicted. I believe 25 years in prison. I have that coming for you right now. But the story, the court hearing was very interesting, which is why I want to bring this up. For one, it's crazy that this even happens, right? Like, who thought stuff like this would even happen on that type of situation, right? This is a dream come true, and then you just hit with a nightmare, you know? Like, that's tragic. Very tragic. Yeah, you just don't expect that kind of stuff to happen. But what happened in the court after room and the testimonies given and the stories being told is also what was interesting to me. And I kind of want to get into that. So I got some clips we're going to get into, and then we'll break it down. So here is from NBC News, the breakdown of the sentencing of Jamie Lee Komorowski and what transpired on the tragic wedding day. Here we go.
Tonight, 27-year-old Jamie Lee Komorowski sentenced to 25 years behind bars for killing 34-year-old Samantha Miller just hours after she got married in April 2023. Komorowski addressing the judge before the sentencing.
And that I take full responsibility for my actions. Hopefully one day you will be able to forgive me.
Prosecutors say Komorowski was bar hopping in Folly Beach, 30 minutes from downtown Charleston, when she got behind the wheel and plowed into a golf cart, carrying Miller, her groom Eric Hutchinson, and two other family members who were driving the newlyweds to their rental after their wedding reception.
We've been sentenced to a lifetime of pain.
Prosecutors say Komorowski's blood alcohol was 3 times over the legal limit, and she was driving 65 miles per hour in a 25 mile per hour zone.
Interesting stuff. Going 65 and a 25 and, yeah, crashed into the newlywed couple, killed the wife. And the husband is, so this has been going on for a year, right? A year and a half. Obviously, they've been back and forth. The husband was in and out of the hospital. The husband, obviously he's alive, but he broke a lot of bones. His face was all messed up. He broke some bones in his face, broke his legs. He had some major surgeries. So this was like a real serious accident. And the other people that were injured as well, they were in recovery as well. They've been in recovery, and the husband still, a year and a half later, is still in pain and all that stuff. So not just physically, but all the rest. And I want to kind of get into what he has to say, because he gets up and he speaks to the drunk driver, and he has some words to share with the drunk driver. And I kind of want to get into that and break that down, what he kind of says. And it's always kind of interesting to see how the surviving spouse feels about these situations to me, How are they responding to this? How are they reacting to this? How are they taking it? How are they feeling? What's on their mind? So here's from Daily Mail. Grieving husband shares how he felt then and now losing his wife on their special wedding day. Here we go.
I've been thinking about what to say ever since that night. What do you say when your world's shattered? Physically, I'm in pain every day. My face hurts, my back hurts, my feet hurt. It's a struggle to get through every day. I've seen more doctors than I can count. I've seen more therapists. More psychiatrists, done more procedures than I ever care to do. And I still feel I'm at the same point as when I found out that day. My world will be ever changed what happened that night. I think about that night every single day. In the last moments I had with Sam on the golf cart. She told me she didn't want the night to end. And I kissed her on the forehead. And then the next thing I remember is waking up in the hospital. I see my mom's face, still wearing the wedding dress from the night before. And I knew instantly. And so I asked where's Sam. I knew she wasn't there. I wish more than anything, you guys me instead of Sam. I wish I died that night, so she didn't have to go alone. I wish I saw you coming, and I jumped off the golf cart so you would only run me over.
Interesting stuff. I don't even want to criticize. I'm not interested in criticizing him crying, because you just don't know how you would feel in that situation. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. You just don't know how you would feel in that type of situation, right? You don't know how you would respond. You don't know how you would react. I don't think he's up there trying to put on a show, in my opinion. As he's explaining the story, it's almost like he's very low. I had to really up the volume, meaning as if like he doesn't even want to be up there. And then also as he gets to the like climax parts of his statement, he doesn't put no theatrics to it. You know how sometimes when people are crying and when they get to the most important part of the story, like whatever, right? Whatever it may be, the exciting part, the part that you want people to feel sorry for you for, they get loud and they put theatrics on it, and it's like a movie, right? But when he says in his statement that he wished that he could have died with her, so that way she wouldn't have to go alone, he gets lower in his tone, because it's like he almost doesn't want to be triggered by even hearing himself say that and really kind of break down more. So it seems like he's going through it, right? It seems like he's, grieving the situation. And, you know, the heart goes out to the family. You just wish them well. That's all you can do is wish them well. And hopefully they see the truth in this. I heard the whole video, and he doesn't necessarily forgive the drunk driver. He actually says that, like, he's like talking to the drunk driver as he's saying this, and I guess looking over towards her direction, the driver. And it's saying, like, you brought my family pain, you brought my family. So it doesn't seem like he's in a forgiveness type of state. Which seems he's kind of just like blind to just the emotions of it all and still caught up in it. So yeah, that part's kind of unfortunate because I don't know why unfortunate, but you would want to, because I think it's been 1.5 years, right? So you would want to, you know, be looking towards, you know, recovering and trying to free yourself of this burden, right? Of this guilt or whatever you may be feeling, and trying to, you know, get better and overcome and you know, also move on type of thing. But, you know, maybe in his own time, he'll find that and be able to set that free. But right now he's just going through it. And to me, it seems like he's just really like taking it hard and doesn't even want to be there. And it's crazy stuff. It's crazy stuff, you know? But that's not it. I'm not done. Because this is where it really like got interesting to me. And what I really wanted to comment on is because the father of the girl who died, the wife that died, the wife's name was Samantha Miller before she married, obviously. Miller was her former last name. The father of Samantha gets up and gives his statement. And this is from WCNC, Lord. WCNC Charlotte. Grieving father angrily addresses drunk driver in court, saying he wants to see her in hell. Lord have mercy. Here we go.
Yes, sir. You would tell us your name for the record.
I'm Brad Warner.
Yes, sir. Be glad to hear from
I'm
you.
Sam's biological daughter. I'm her father. I'm the one that wasn't there in the first part of her life. For the past 20 plus years, I was there for her when she needed me. When I was 2 years old, I got hit by a car, left on the side of the road for dead. I survived. Everybody says they think the person was drunk. When they hit the room, they never found the person. So every day I woke up for 57 years and hated this person. Hated every day. I'd wake up and hate somebody I didn't even know. 6 months before Sam was taken, I said to her, I got to get this weight off my shoulder. I said, Sam, I'm going to forgive this person. I don't know who it is. I did. The next day I talked to Sam. It was like a 1,000-pound weight was taken off my shoulders.
Nice.
Felt like I could fly. 6 months later, that hatred is back on with vengeance. I've never felt this much weight. This person, you took such a beautiful person away. She was loved by so many. I didn't realize how many people over the past 1.5 years I've heard from people that actually hate you. And they love Sam. They never met Sam, don't even know Sam. For the rest of my life, I'm going to hate you. And when I arrive in hell and you come there, I'll open the door for you. You have ruined so many people's lives. And I hope you understand what you did, because you've taken no responsibility for what you've done. You can apologize all you want later. I will not listen to a word. It's not worth it. Everybody calls Sam a female version of me. Because we say what we mean and we mean what we say, and she always did. She was a beautiful soul. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, sir.
So there, what the? So there's the father. There's the father, and, you know, the father talks about, he says a lot, right? He says a lot here. He says that he carried a lot of guilt for, or a lot of hatred towards the driver that hit him when he was 2 years old. He said he carried that for 57 years. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. That he even remembers all that stuff. He said he carried that for 57 years. But also he said something interesting, that the first 20-something years of his daughter's life, he wasn't even around. He wasn't even there. Right? And the second half of her life, he was there. And I guess he had a good relationship with her, according to him. But he says that he had hatred. He told his daughter, Sam, the one who died, that he had hatred for this person. And Sam was telling him, you got to forgive. You got to let go. You got to walk away from that. And he did it and felt so much better. He felt freer, lighter, as forgiveness does, right? When you forgive, you shall be forgiven. And he felt better. And then 6 months later, unfortunately, you know, he loses his daughter. And yeah, now he says that hatred came back. So obviously he's not aware of the evils of hate. Well, he's not seeing it clearly in this moment, right? He's highly emotional. He's very overreactive. He's not seeing it clear. So he forgave, but he doesn't understand why hate and anger is wrong, right? Because it came back. And it reminded me of something too. It reminded me of this scripture. And it's so true. And that's why you just gotta wish people well, because you never know what people are going through. Scripture in the Bible, I forgot to pull it, but I'm gonna say it verbatim. Is God will clean you up and you'll be clean, and he'll remove the evil spirits within, right? He'll clean the home, the house within, and the demons will flee from you. But when you're free and the demons flee, they bring back 7 more. And once the 7 demons go back to the individual, they look around and they see that the house is clean, and all 7 of them enter the home again. Isn't that crazy? And that just reminded me of this situation. He forgave. He was free. He was better. He forgave this person, right? And then 6 months later, he's back in this situation, and he comes back and he says, I've never had more hate than I do now, right? We heard him say it, vengeance. And that's what it happens. And if you're not aware of yourself and you're not working on yourself and you're not understanding these things and overcoming them, then Satan comes back in 7 times harder with 7 more demons to really distort your mind and to try to pull you away. And if you haven't been working on yourself, it's a tough battle. It's a tough battle. So I think that the father is just lost. I think he feels a lot of guilt for not being there maybe for the first half of her life. So he's kind of imposing that guilt on this whole situation and blaming the driver. But he's not realizing that same hatred that he has is just as evil. And you heard the drunk driver, she's apologized. She's saying, I'm sorry. I take full responsibility. And I was wrong. You know, the whole thing. She said her part, whether she means it or not, which I have no reason to believe she doesn't. But you can't do nothing else after that. You know what I mean? There's nothing else you can do. Anything else after that is your problem. You're now imposing your feelings and anger and ego and taking it out on somebody else because it's making you feel better. And that's not good. That's evil. But he's grieving. But after a while, grieving ain't cute no more. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, however long a person needs to grieve, they do what they need to do, right? But after a certain amount of time period, you know, you got to start living life. You got to start. So, man, things happen for people to learn, you know. It's unfortunate, but things happen for a reason. Things happen for people to learn. And if you take the lesson by it or you're destroyed by it, it's, you know, that's your own journey to discover. But I just wish the family well and that they get it together. To me, I have no reason to believe, and I'm going to get your calls right now. It's my last little thing here, is I have no reason to believe that the lady, you have to also think about the woman who was drunk driving. She, of course, is not intentionally thinking she wants to kill somebody for the most part, right? I don't really know what her agenda was, but you're drunk driving. According to the story, we just heard it, she was coming back from bar hopping with her friends. Right? She's at the club, she's at the bars, having a good time, drinking. And most people have been in that situation, leaving the bar, had a good time, but drank a little bit too much, but think you're fine. So you end up driving home and end up getting home. Sometimes you don't know how you got home. Come on. Everybody, no, I don't know about everybody, but most people has been there. They understand. So you got to understand also what this girl's going through. She killed somebody and she's carrying that and it's affecting her. And I have no reason to doubt that she is faking it, from my opinion, because I'm looking at these pictures here. I'm going to show you a picture of her before and a picture of her after. This is the girl before, right? The drunk driver. And, you know, obviously she was young, going out and having fun, doing her thing, being early 20s. She was 25 or 26 at the time. Probably just enjoying her life, just being a young girl out there and, I don't know, having fun. And then fast forward to now, she has these charges and convictions. Look how she looks now, right? Tore up. You know what I mean? I have no reason to believe that she is not sorry. And I think that she feels the weight. And I think that she's carrying the guilt. And maybe even falsely. Well, guilt and shame and all that stuff is false, is a setup from the enemy to make you feel bad about, to make you judge yourself. So guilt and stuff is never good. Never. Guilt and shame and all that stuff is never good. It's a setup, right? But look, she's carrying that. And I also know that when you're guilt-ridden or you feel depressed or you feel any of that stuff, you gain weight, right? Look at this girl. You ever seen a Shallow Hal? You know how like she's like the prosthetics made her look like real big? That's kind of what it's looking like. And I'm not trying to make a funny joke. I'm just saying that like in the movie, it was real dramatic how they put the prosthetics to make her look big. Well, this girl actually, and that's because of all that, allegedly, right? I'm just, my opinion. But the stress and the guilt and the shame and all that stuff that she's feeling, she's not up in jail smiling and enjoying what she did. And then maybe also to hear the family telling her that she needs to go to hell and that they're going to be, hopefully she can understand that they're just grieving and that they're just going through it and not to take it personal. But I believe her to be sorry. It's a freak accident. It's a freak accident. So I wish her well too. I wish them all well. It's unfortunate, man. So just be smart, man, when you're out there. Be smart when you're out drinking. Be smart when you're out and about. Be aware, be cautious, because you never know what be going on. You never know what be going on. Anyway, amazing stuff. Let me go to some calls. I got some people that want to get in there and talk about this. I also have some super chats that I will get to as well. I'm seeing those. I will not. I do plan to get to those, all right? So let me get to the calls, though, really quick. Let me go to Aaron out of Maryland. Aaron, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
What's up, man? How you been?
How's it going, Aaron? All is well.
Man, I like your show because sometimes, man, you show certain things that's really amazing. And
nice.
The current situation you're displaying is a big. It's like a big play by Satan. You know.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because that girl and that father and everybody involved shouldn't even act like that. Does that make sense?
It's a natural and natural way to react for sure.
Yeah, like the way he acted in that video, bro, was the best display of Satan trying to rope us into his play.
Yeah.
Like he's crying and he's acting like, I'll open the door for you. It's like, bro, that is a straight up possession from Satan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how can you even say those words? How grand is your ego that you think you're going to open you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're going to open the door to somebody and in hell, like where do you, that's incredible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense 100%. And, I think that people, he's just caught up and he's blindly just speaking because he's feeling this grief, right? But at the end of the day, all of it is coming from Satan, right? All of it is this setup, right?
I get grief, but what he's doing is no longer grief. You're supposed to grieve inside, on your own and solemnly, peacefully, What he's doing is he's trying to bring us into his hell.
Yeah.
And everybody in that courtroom and anybody who watches that video is going to sit there and be like, oh, it's justified for him to speak that way, which is absolutely like out of control. True. It's crazy for anybody to speak that way.
No,
it's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
No, and on top of it too, is that like you gotta, also knowing that Satan has his hand in all of it too, right? He's playing. That's why I know that these people who are doing this and saying these things, right? The dad, the husband, they're just being used.
Even the drunk driver.
Even the drunk driver. They're being used in this moment, and it's not them, and they're not guilty. It's them being used by their way of their emotions and grief to act out these things, and it's all a play, and to feel bad or to wish. And you're right, though. He sat up there and he was able to tell that she's going, that he'll open the doors in hell and all this stuff. He was allowed to.
God,
it's true. It is true.
What a speech from hell. That was a speech from hell. It was literally Satan channeling through him. Like, it was amazing.
Yes.
It was like, why? Like, you know, that's your moment to sit up there and be a light to the world and say, I forget it, regardless of how great. You know, these grievances and these issues, these unfortunate. I don't even like calling it unfortunate because it's just circumstances. We don't know the judgment of the child that passed. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
To even call it unfortunate, we don't know where she is. She might have passed into heaven right now. We don't know the heart of that child. Right. And then to just sit there and assume that it's a travesty. I mean, yes, life should be kept on the earth, you know. But when an incident happens like this, when the devil used someone to hurt someone else, to assume that this is now someone. This is all. We should all be angry. We should all not forgive someone. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it's like sometimes it feels like people are itching for these situations so they can find someone that they have a reason to unleash their hell on them. You know what I mean?
No, I partly understand, but they just can't help it. You know what I mean? They're lost and can't see and blind, but you're right though. You're right in what you're saying. But you know, there's also the side of them they really don't see it or know it any other way, caught up in the emotion and all that stuff. But you're right in what you're saying is that it is Satan who's really at fault.
Exactly.
Using these people as a puppet to spew out, you know, more hate and shame and guilt and all those things for sure.
I saw when you showed how she was before and how she is after. Yeah. And that's Satan doing that to her still. Yeah. He's still in her. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, why, what is eating and crying? That doesn't change what happened. Yeah. What do you think? How is this going to help anything? You know? Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Respect your body. Take care of yourself. You know? Yeah. Handle the situation on this earth as it should be handled. It's fine. You know, it's not a big deal. Okay, you did this. You might have to suffer the consequences on this earth, but why are you giving your soul up just because of this? You know, it's incredible.
Well, maybe they'll have to hit the bottom, right? They'll have to smack face flat on the ground for them to see that, hey, listen, we were living at the bottom. Well, not yet. Well, not yet though, because you know. Well, I mean maybe they love the grief of it. Who knows, right? But at the end of the day, sometimes people are just be so blind and lost that they need to go through this kind of stuff. And I don't wish this on anybody, but
no, man, that's interesting. I differ with you on that. I don't think anybody got to go through any of this at all.
You don't have to. You're right. You don't.
You know what I mean? Like you don't got to do this, bro. Why? Why are you doing all this?
Because
instantly.
But see, the thing is, what you're doing.
But I do understand.
But the part that I want to disagree with you on is that, like, you know, and I do this too sometimes, and I have to catch myself. Is that like it's like thinking that they should know better, right? Thinking that like, well, what's wrong with you? Type of attitude. But it's like blind and can't see. Yeah. It's blind and can't see.
I understand, though.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you're right, but it's still like blind and can't see. So these situations come to people so they can either wake up or continue in their grief. So they'll either continue in their grief or they'll hit the ground and be like, listen, we acting up. We got to change up. So,
but you see that. You see what I'm saying, right?
I do see 100%.
So then we have, I believe we have a responsibility to not give in to whatever they're going, because we have to we have to be the polarization to reveal to them that they're wrong. You know what I mean? We had to be like, no, you don't have to do that. You know, even though I do understand, man. I do. I get it. I get the grief. I get the depression that comes from that. And but I also do know that it's evil whispering in your head that you did something wrong. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's like oh man, he really doesn't. When I say he, I mean Satan. Satan really doesn't care. He will use anything and everything against you, and he will rejoice in it. It's amazing. It's like, what?
No.
Really,
and that's why
I mean?
Christians, but that's why, Christians as well have to be the example, right? Meaning that you know that this is all, a setup, and that this is not the way of life. This is not how you overcome. But you also understand what's going on and understand that people are lost and can't see. And we have to be able to assess these situations so we can bring both of those together.
We have to
be able to
it.
Yeah, to properly, because if we do a one or the other, right? Because let me give you a quick example, and then I got to move the calls. Is that if we just are too understanding and you're like, oh, I know what you're going through, that's so sad, and then you cater to the evil, right? But then if you're on the other side, just saying, stop crying like a little baby, you need to step it up, you're acting up, you're being a little, what's wrong with you? Then you're also doing the same thing on the other end. No, you gotta meet in love, understands.
In the middle.
Exactly. Love understands what the situation needs and what it calls for. It doesn't always necessarily mean.
I disagree with you on that one.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
I know you got to move the calls, but on that one, I'm gonna say, nah. You got to come raw. You got to be you. You got to stand on that and say no. Yeah, but you don't got. I mean, you don't got to say something. Yeah, you crying? Where you being a baby? You don't got to say that. But you gotta be like, yo, man, what's going on right now? You got to make it clear you're doing something irregular. Anyway.
No, fair enough. In some situations, it might make sense, but I appreciate it, Aaron. Good conversation, good topic. Call me again, man.
Absolutely. All right.
Have a good one. I'm not disagreeing. Each situation calls for a different reaction, right? Right. Sometimes you may be like snap out of it. Like what you're acting up. But sometimes you are to say nothing. You let people go through it. So you just got to pay attention and know how to address the situation, because it could come off as judgment. Or not even come off as judgment. It could just be judgment. Like, what's wrong with you, man? You look crazy, right? And whether or not that may be true, it may not be of love in the moment. So that's why I always say, y'all, don't have a preconceived plan on how you should go about the situation. Look within, recognize the spirit within, know yourself, so you'll know how to conduct yourself in these situations, how to be of love. Because sometimes love is straight up tough, to where you have to smack somebody, not literally smack somebody in the face, but smack some sense into them. But sometimes love also means to just be there, or just be quiet or say nothing. You know what I mean? So you just gotta know what the moment calls for. Right on. Let's keep moving. Let's go to Serge out of Texas. Serge, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you, Joel. You know what's interesting about those little setups to where they advertise the person's crime is I find it very interesting, like how they would be like, this person showed no remorse. Where they get that from? That the person, like, they're judging on that. So you got to cry to show remorse, and then when they cry, they be like, we don't know if it's a genuine cry. They probably just trying to fake it to get out of jail, or they crying because they're doing the time. You know what I mean?
Well,
I find that interesting.
I'm confused on what you mean. Are you saying that she's not truly crying, or she doesn't really mean it?
No, I'm saying rather in those situations, that not particularly this topic.
Oh, okay.
But in any the situation where they advertise a crime, they judge the person anyway, whether they're crying or not crying.
They're judging.
They're gonna judge and say, because we did it. Like we're like we didn't really do it, but some were sitting back saying we don't know if she really has remorse or, if she felt bad about it or she was just crying and she got to do so many years. So I just say to that, just don't worry about it. In your heart, right?
Right.
That's all that matters. But those people are gonna, especially with the men. I see a lot of times with the men. They just take their punishment, and then I hear from the reporter reporting the case and said they showed no remorse. They didn't cry or whatever.
Yeah.
I'd be like, why you gotta cry?
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that doesn't mean that you're sorry just because you cry. And if you don't cry, it doesn't mean that you're not sorry, right? It's not based off of a emotion, but that's how the world sees it, right? And that's why we got to overcome caring about what people think, because everybody's just judging based off of what they see, but not really off of what they know.
Yeah, it's phony. If I'm crying, telling somebody I'm sorry, I'm lying.
Yeah.
If I'm crying, I'm lying. No, I'm playing.
What do you think?
But,
do you think that this girl do you think she was genuinely sorry or what?
Yeah, she didn't. Yeah, she didn't. It happens. And like I said on the comment, like it could have happened to any one of us, especially any one of us that has ever been out drinking. We should be really slow and have perfect understanding of this scenario. Yeah. Unless we're on our high horse thinking that, no, I'm cautious. It could never happen to me.
Right.
That will try to plant that thought in real quick.
No, man. And that's why you got to keep your eyes on yourself and check yourself and know when you're getting puffed up off of like getting thrilled up off of you saying, what's wrong with you? Or why are you crying? You just got to watch yourself and pay attention. But right on, Serge, I appreciate it. I got more calls to get to, but thank you, man, for calling as always.
Can I say one thing, Joel?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I just think that spiritual endurance is something that we need to continue to have, which I think, and you can answer when you hang up, I think spiritual endurance is a matter of always keeping the eye on self, and that's where you'll be able to endure, and you get distracted by taking your eyes off self, and I think people just need spiritual endurance.
Right on, Serge. I appreciate it. Call me again, man.
Thank you, man.
Nice. Let me go to David out of Norway. David, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, man.
How's it going?
Good to speak to you.
You said what?
Good to meet you for the first time. I forgot to say I'm a first-time caller.
Oh, you're a first-time caller. Nice. And what'd you say my name was?
Joel.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Love. I was like, what the?
No, I said. Anyway.
All right. No homo. All right. Go ahead, David. Thank you for calling.
I was saying you have a deep show going on today, and it was very interesting watching the Christian guy there, like refusing to forgive while he has the cross and Jesus on the cross on his chest.
Oh, interesting. I didn't notice that.
I was tempted to you didn't notice the guy with the beard and white hair? The cross.
The father that was saying that he'll see the victim in hell? I mean, the driver in hell?
Exactly. You didn't see he had a cross on his chest?
I didn't see it, no. But interesting.
So I was tempted to judge him, look at this Christian refusing to forgive.
Yeah.
Made me think about all the stuff I've learned from Jesse, and how would I react if I was never taught about forgiveness.
Exactly. Yeah. Great, perfect point right there, David, is that's the point I was trying to make on the phone with the call, is that blind and can't see, and also people can't help it. How would you don't know how you would react, and you also don't know these people and if they even know better, right? Or if they even or how you would react if you didn't know about forgiveness or the message of bond. We're getting the message. We're understanding it. God is working on us, right? But it doesn't mean that people have that same wisdom that we've learned over time for us to be like, how could you not know what I know? You know what I mean? And judge.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm starting to see like what Jesse talks about when he says there's no free will.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, driving with some alcohol in the system, I think everybody's, not everybody, but a lot of people have gotten
done
in
it.
a car. Me too.
Yeah.
Had to go get a pizza.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of mind opening. But I kind of struggle with the whole idea that no free will. I have a hard time.
In what way?
Did I choose to call you now?
Interesting.
Even what is that practical? Is that
yeah? That's interesting.
Like, do we choose anything?
It's interesting, man. I also think about that one too, the free will, and I don't have a definite answer on whether we have it or not. It's definitely something I think about as far as how decisions are made. I do know that we're influenced to do things, right? And we can't help that we do things that we don't want to do because we're influenced by it. And I also know that a lot of the times when we do things, David, it's because we lack the know-how to avoid them, right? So we're just influenced by the feeling of it.
We go unconscious.
We go unconscious, right? And it's not like we're just sitting there trying to say, oh, I'm unconscious. Sometimes we just don't understand how this happened or what's even going on within. So we can't avoid something we don't understand. So, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. It's often just as messed up within as it is without. So you can't even... it's hard to control things. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hope that guy learns to forgive at some point.
So all you do, wish them well. Hopefully they find it. And if not, then that's on them. But I appreciate that, David. Any last comments before I move the calls?
No.
Well, thank you, man.
Nothing else.
Call me again, and thanks for calling.
All right. Have a good one, man.
All right, you as well. David out of Norway. Appreciate it. Amazing stuff. Let me get to Super Chats real quick, and then I'll get back to the calls before I end here. We have Mr. Chaz. What did Mr. Chaz say? Mr. Chaz says, I wonder how the thinking process was behind speaking up and telling the woman in that building right there what he had to say. Could you live with it? Oh, man, Chaz. I don't quite know what you're talking about. I think you're talking about the father. Let's go on. He sends another super chat and says, now you're scaring me talking about the dad becoming repossessed. I need my Bible. No. You know what I'm saying? You can do the right thing or get free, right? And the devil will flee from you, right? Because now you got the Holy Spirit working. You're feeling good. You're seeing clear. Everything makes sense. But you are going to go back to your normal way of living, right? Right when that feeling that you have of freeness goes away, when the thoughts come back in or you, whatever, right? Then Satan's going to come back harder to make you doubt, to try to make you doubt. But he's going to come back harder than he did before to try to convince you to come back to his way of living. So the devil does not play. And the devil's not even trying not to play. He just only knows evil. You know what I mean? So it's a dirty game. It's a dirty game. That's why you got to watch yourself, work on yourself, and just be aware and get out the way. Stop trying to control life and trying to prevent and trying not to cry, not to feel guilt. Just notice that you're feeling guilt. Notice that you're crying. And that's it. And the awareness of it is pulling you away from it. slowly and slowly and slowly. And then eventually you'll understand, you'll grow in wisdom, your mind will be renewed, and you'll be like, there's no reason to cry. And you just grow and grow and grow. I know it has happened to me in different situations, so I know that to be true. But I appreciate that, Chad, for the super chats. I hope that answered I guess, I don't know, made sense to your super chat, but I appreciate that. Thank you, man. Let me check the coffees. Let me go to the call really quick, though, because Rick, welcome to the show. You're on the air. A few minutes left, Rick. How's it going?
What's up, Brother Joel? What's happening with you, brother?
All is well. How are you, Rick?
Man, I'm fine, man. It's always good to be on y'all shows, man. Thanks for taking my call.
No problem.
And I was talking about, man, unforgiveness, man. Because, the father that just wouldn't forgive. Just imagine what the girl going through when you took a life by you being careless. She got to forgive herself,
Yeah.
And I'm just saying that, hey, that girl's going through a lot worse than somebody can. I don't ever want that on my hands that I took a life being careless. You know what I'm saying, Joel?
Yeah. No, she's going through a lot too. She has a lot of stuff that she's dealing with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's just like, man, I'm driving. I killed somebody's 5-year-old kid because I was drunk. And I would have to ask God to help me forgive myself because I value human life so much, man.
Yeah.
And that now, if I kill somebody for self-defense or somebody breaking into my home, that's different.
Yeah.
But killing somebody being careless on drugs, on whatever, that's a different animal, man. And I'm just imagining what she's going through. And I'm gonna tell you, man, when you refuse to forgive, man, you are dying slowly.
Yeah, it's eating you alive. It's eating you up, and it never ends good for anybody. And he may feel a little bit better for getting the thrills from being able to point at the girl in the courtroom and say, "I hate you" and all this stuff. It may make him feel better for a second, but I don't know if he was a Christian or not. I don't know. According to the caller, he had a cross on his shirt, but everybody nowadays wear a cross.
Absolutely. Sometimes they wear it for decoration.
Right. So I don't know about his religious status, but yeah, if he hangs on to that, then it's only destruction. You're right.
Understand, yep. That's understandable, man. And and it's just amazing, man. It's just like I can't stress enough, man. Forgive, man.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I think people. It's ego too why people won't forgive because they feel like they punish you. They're making you suffer by them not forgiving you.
That's a good point.
Absolutely, it's about ego. That's why a lot of people like, I'm gonna make you pay.
Yeah,
you can't make anyone pay.
Yeah,
I mean
because the person. Sorry, Ray. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, Joel.
I was gonna say because the person who did the judging or did the act is already suffering, so we don't have to make them suffer more. And we think that we're going to make them suffer more by imposing our anger on them to say, how you like it? How does this pain feel? But they're already feeling that. They're already going through it.
They do that because they feel like they're making you suffer by them not forgiving you, in which they are not at all, man.
Yeah.
Yes, even the Bible says, don't offend people because it's hard to win them back over once you do offend them. But that's what that's what it says. It says when you offend your brother, it's harder to win them back over.
Yeah.
But it seems like people don't. I read for somebody wrong me, Joel, because I can deal with it better.
Yeah.
And I can overcome that than when I do somebody wrong. It's just like it's a heavy burden on me, man, when I do somebody wrong.
But is it because? But is it because thinking that you and the individual is responsible for it? Like, why is it harder that way for you?
Well, when I wrong somebody, because I could have done so many things better to even to keep that from happening. You know what I'm saying? Like if I chose, love. But instead of most time when we do somebody wrong, you better believe there's some deception involved, some greed, some selfishness, some fear, and you're thinking about yourself when you wrong somebody. It's all about you when you wrong somebody. You better guarantee when you wrong somebody, you was involved in that equation a lot.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Rick, but just to respectfully disagree is that
that's fine.
Yeah, is that I think the problem is us putting too much responsibility on ourselves in the sense of thinking that if we could have did different, we could have prevented it. No, if we knew better in that moment, we would have done better, right? So mistakes happen because we're unconscious, right? Even if we think it's intentional, it's still unconscious. So we shouldn't feel. I don't think that at all. Period. We shouldn't feel any type of guilt or burden.
I guess too, Joel, and you're right. You're absolutely right. But I guess too, you feel because a lot of times it's so funny when we wrong people. Most time, not all. It be most time people that's really close to us.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why I say that. And then that's now you done lost a true friend because I said people have a hard time forgiving. If someone steals some money from someone, and this lady used to have him over her estate, managing her checking accounts and everything, until the person got sticky fingers. Now she put him off everything. She don't trust him, and you'll be like, wow, man, I lost favor because of me doing wrong. I will forgive myself and get on eventually, but it would be a thinking point for me to. As we say in the military, debrief, see what happened, see what I could have done better, and not do it again.
Yeah, and if we feel, and it's good to reflect. I agree. I think it's good that we should reflect on what happened and see that we take responsibility in the sense of recognizing that this happened and through us. But I also think that if we feel anything about it, then that's us believing into the lie that we could have prevented something from happening. And I don't think that we should have to. I think that's a setup to try to put that type of responsibility on us, because then guilt only makes us feel bad about ourselves or judge ourselves as bad.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes, it's and you're right. We should be able to and I agree with you what you're saying, Joe. You said we shouldn't have that burden to accept that we some flawed people.
Yeah.
And move on. Ask the person to forgive you, and then that should be it.
And just see it.
Go ahead.
And just see it, and then that's it. Just see that, oh shoot, that wasn't proper, and move on from it. No guilt, no wallowing over it. Just learn from it and move on, type of thing.
Yeah. And and it's true. Totally agree there, Joel. And I'm telling you, forgiveness when it comes to your spiritual life, that's a big part of your foundation.
Yeah.
You don't have forgiveness, your spiritual life is ruined. It really is.
Yeah. 100%.
It's done.
100%, Rick. I'm so out of time. I'm past the time.
Oh man, okay, Joel.
I'm past
Thanks for my call, man.
Yeah. I appreciate it, Rick, and thanks for calling in as always and supporting the show. I appreciate your calls, man. Thank you.
No problem. Love you guys, man. Be blessed, man. I'll try and tune in Sunday, man, for church service with you guys, man. And love y'all. Y'all be blessed, man.
All right.
Have a safe and blessed weekend. Love you, brothers. Y'all take care of it. I'll see you Monday.
All right. Thank you, Rick.
Listen to you Monday and listen to the worship service Sunday. So you guys have a great weekend.
All right. You as well, Rick. I appreciate it. Have a good one. Nice. I got to end. I want to say one last thing, and I got to end. Is that you just, the feelings of it, you don't need, it's not from God. The light has no feeling, meaning that all we are to do is see. And once we see, right, which is God's insight upon on our behalf, right, is once you just see that you made a mistake and you see that you were wrong, that's it, right? Because in all reality, you weren't really wrong. You were just unconscious, right? You're just living life, making mistakes on the way. So you weren't wrong, because once you tell yourself you're wrong, then you're judging yourself. Now you're saying that you're a bad person. Now you're saying that you should have did better. And that's the devil's game. That's the setup to make you feel bad about yourself so you can be depressed, stressed, anxiety, suicidal thoughts. That's a setup. You just see it and you learn from it and you move on, right? Now you know. And if you do it again, you repeat the process. Now you know. But you don't have to look at yourself and have an opinion now of whether you're good or bad. You know what I mean? And just leave it on. Move on, forgive, so you could be happy. Nobody has time to be nobody wants to sit around here be depressed. I don't care who you are. Nobody wants to be depressed. Depression don't feel good. So we just trying to get the peace. Anyway, I got to end. Thank you guys for tuning in. Amazing stuff. Amazing calls, super chats, chats, people in the chat, comments, all that stuff. Thank you for the engagement. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Amazing stuff. What we got going on? What's today? I am not here tomorrow. Today is my last day of this week. I will be back here on Monday, but the rest of the network hosts will be here tomorrow. James Hake, Jesse Lee Peterson, the American Anchor Baby Nick, they will all be here tomorrow, as well as the Fallen State taping dropping tomorrow as well. Make sure you guys tune in at 12 p.m. Pacific time to watch a brand new episode of The Fallen State. And check American Anchor Baby out today at 4 p.m. All right? No more me till Monday, but you got everybody else. So right on. Appreciate it. A couple super chats came in. Amy says, Merry Christmas, Joel, James, Nick, Jesse, and crew. Merry Christmas, Amy. I appreciate the super chat. Right on. And Terry sent a super chat as well. Terry Strange. Appreciate you, Terry, as well. Thank you for the super chat. All right, guys. Have a good weekend. I'll see you guys in chat. Someone's chat. I'll see you before Monday. And until then, I'll see you guys again. On the flip. Bye.